Okay, let's see. Battlefield Acrobat.
Is there anybody in here?
Coward.
This is the first time I've ever tried this, and I'm just kind of testing it out and make sure it works before I ever, try to do this for real. So if that little thing up there says one person watching, man, I'd appreciate it if you just say something in the chat. That would let me know something.
Maybe. Bahra. Fjord.
Hell, if you're in here and you want to talk about something or listen to me talk about something for just a minute, maybe go ahead and drop a topic in there. I have no idea who you might be, I guess. So I don't know what you might be into. I do reptiles, snakes, alcohol, beer. Chased you off. So it's back to 0. So obviously that means
well, she is an interesting character.
one person came in and left. Okay, that's tough. My first viewer, on and off, just like that.
Yeah, you learned how to do that.
No trace.
Okay.
Up and gone like a fart in the wind, man.
I hear that I didn't learn.
Hope you're happy, whoever you are.
Billy, quit smacking your tailbone. You don't need to smack it about like that.
Oh,
so there.
Man. Just need someone to come in for a minute, give me a little feedback, make sure things are working. Damn.
Yeah. Where are those damn fish? Thought there were 2 more. Off you go then. Okie dokie. That's fine with me, pretty cat.
Oh, there's somebody. Hello, whoever you are. This is just the very first time I'm doing this. I'm trying to figure a couple things out, make sure I'm doing things right before I ever schedule one of these and do something. If you want to say hi in the chat or something, that'd be cool. Let me know that my audio is working at least, or whether it sounds like crap or something's going on. Oh yeah, I need to turn this down, obviously. That probably sucks. You guys have just been sitting listening to a whole nother channel on another tab. Or I say you guys, it's one person. Please say hi in the chat. That would help a lot. Is there anything you'd like to talk about? Anything you want to hear me talk about? You want to watch me sit around and drink? You want to drink with me? You want to talk shit? Anything? Is this even working? Am I on? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Are you someone I know? Just just fucking with me, because that's probably fun. That could be a good time for you for a minute. I hope. Hopefully not too long. Hi, are you in the U.S.? Anything? You give me one of those, a middle finger emoji or anything at all? That would be cool. Tell me I'm ugly, stupid. Go hang myself. I should have never tried this. Anything? You like Boston? Don't like Boston? Fuck baseball? No, it does seem awkward almost that somebody's watching and I'm just not going on about anything. Is it you, J&G? J&G happen to be lurking late at night and catch this thing? I'd be surprised if anybody did. This is probably just a totally random person. Do you want to get on here with me on the video thing? I will attempt to drop the link for you if you would like. I'll try to figure it out. Oh, man. Oh, Who could it be? I think you're definitely probably just like some random person, huh? Who just happened to find this, because I mean, it's not like I have videos out or anything, and you were just, like, oh man, can't believe that guy's going live. I want to go watch. I tell you what, if you seem legit, you start talking, I'll PayPal you $1. Might send you some stickers or something. Stickers and $1. How about that? Like stickers? How about a t-shirt? Tell you what, I will send you a t-shirt if you just start talking and participate for a little bit in the chat. Nothing at all. I don't see anything. Surely you're just not talking. Now it's beginning to get kind of awkward that I know there's one person just staring at me. Is it fun? Could be fun. I'm having fun. Whatever. We'll continue to do it for a few minutes, at least, I guess, until maybe somebody else will come on and bullshit around. God, this feels weird. Sure wish I knew. Like, damn, is it working? Can I turn things on? Turn things. Can you hear me now? Anything? Are you the same person that stopped in here for a minute? Oh, there you're gone, huh? I guess that's that. Ah. Hello. Is it you again, or is it someone new? How are you doing tonight, or today, or this morning? Whatever it might be, wherever you are, whoever you are. Two of whoever you are. Now, something must have happened. Can't just be the same person that was in here a minute. You guys feel like talking in the chat? Is this working? Is the video working? Is the audio working? Can you hear me? Am I ugly as shit? You know? Do I look like I have the kind of face only a mother could love? You know, let me know something. You guys want to hear about something? See something? Talk about something? Watch me talk about something? Sit around and make jokes about my face? Or my channel? My lack of videos? The fact that I'm new and I suck or anything? What is going on? Haven't had a single comment yet. I don't even know if this is really working or doing anything. Let me type in the chat. Let's see. Howdy. Are you guys, is anybody from the US or another English speaking country? Does anyone speak English? Or, you know, habla español? Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Parlez-vous? Anything? Nothing? Apayang sa Pakayamaku? Where are you guys from? Anything, you know? Does anybody smoke anything? Tobacco? Cloves? You use a Sebsi? What part of the world are you from? What continent are you on? Do you even understand do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Oh, damn, this is rough. Not this, trying to do this show. Not having a clue if anybody can even see me or hear me or what the hell's going on. I'm not sure how long I can go on like this. Does anybody want to join the show? We can make it like a Wayne's World if you want. Shit. We can do anything. Who is in here? Such a big mystery to me, I swear. And it has to be, if you're not someone I know, it has to be a big mystery to you as to who I even am. And if you'd like to know, just ask. Okay, so two of you popped in here. Somebody threw a like. You guys are still here. Either know who I am or maybe you like my face. That'd be a shocker, but what the hell's going on here, fellas? Let's go ahead and have a good time, you know. Just go ahead and say something. There it is. It's been you the whole fucking time, huh? Is that Kurt? Who else is in here? You have here for like at least 3 or 4 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, something, you know. It's showing that there's been 2 people here that popped up, and like as soon as they popped in, there was one like, and then I've just been rambling on trying to get you to talk. This is so strange, and it's super strange just sitting here talking to nobody. Sometimes one person came in for a minute and they would never say anything. You're the first and only person that left any kind of comment. So I've been on here for 19 minutes and 47 seconds. And that's the first comment I've got. Well, of course they hop in and out. What's the meaning of like that? And of course they got to just randomly pop in. And I figured I assumed they were just like total randoms from who knows where in the damn world, you know. just like happened to see that live button thing and click on it like that dude did the other day and was eating that damn raw meat and shit. But it was crazy. I was just sitting there talking, like once I see somebody's in, I start trying to talk and I'm like, is this even working? Like it's mostly just trying to test this and see if it works and know whether or not I can set it up, any given time and go on live. But I haven't had any feedback at all. Like, is the video working? Is it any good? Does it suck? Is the audio working? Is it any good? Does it suck? Can you hear that air conditioner not too far away from me running? Okay, audio's good. That's cool. But yeah, no, like, like it was crazy because just like one person, it pops it up. Somebody's in here, but they don't say shit. And I'm like, do I know who you are? Are you just somebody that I do know and you're just fucking with me and having fun? Because that kind of sounds like fun. And I hope you're having fun. But eventually I hope that you'd, let me know that you ever did. So it's just like, God. Is it somebody just really fucking with me and being a real dick sitting here for like 5 minutes and not saying a damn word and then bouncing out? Is it J&G Larkin and just fucking with me? But no, and then you said you were with Kurt, and then right after that, 2 people popped in, and I wondered if maybe it was you and him because 2 people popped up, and I actually got a like too right at the same time. But yeah, I don't know how does any of this work. I'm just on the YouTube Studio or whatever. Do you know anything about this? Whatever it was like the easiest thing to get to. It was only like 4 or 5 clicks to me actually being live on the screen. Like I don't know how to do anything except mute my microphone, and I'm scared to click on anything else. Who else is here? See 2 people. Anybody want to speak up? Throw out a topic? Listen to me bullshit about something? Tell you some lies about something? Tell you maybe some truth? Maybe drop some knowledge if I happen to know about that particular topic? Tell me to eat shit and go jump off a bridge? Anything at all? Anything? I'm fucking dying over here. You want to see me just act a fool? If you want to see me get fucking pissed off, don't say a goddamn word. Just keep on doing what you're doing to me. You'll see. I'll be back. Bipolar. What do y'all think about that? You like that stuff? Are you bipolar? Damn. Ryan, are you still in here? Are you fucking with me? Okay. I was hoping, thinking that might have been you and hoping that it was. I wonder who else is in here. Oh, it's all good. It's cool then. You know, I mean, I understand. I ain't mad at you or that. I was just kind of starting to wonder again. I got up out of my chair and left and went and got a refreshment and came back. You know, there ain't no telling. You might have dropped off and somebody else come in here and I'd ramble on for another 30 minutes, not having a clue that there really isn't anybody actually watching or listening or giving a damn. What do you say to people who are like total randoms or something like that don't say anything at all? And you know, how do you even get someone to respond? Are you guys in the northern hemisphere? Southern hemisphere? You're around Australia, New Zealand? Is it you, Benjamin Payne? Do I need to send Benjamin Payne to find whoever it is? Is it Venom? Is it J&G? Could very well be any late night creeper. But then again, it could be any late night creeper anywhere in the entire world, and that's kind of weird and scary. That's almost scary to think that it could be it's one single person anywhere on the damn planet that could have a fucking internet connection, could just be in here like watching, and that's kind of crazy to think of. I don't think I've ever thought of it like that. I mean, I know it connects people all over the world, but to think that, you know, there's just a total random creepy stranger that could just be like, boom, checking you out, not saying a damn word. So this one goes out to you, creepy stranger. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna play any music or anything. I ain't trying to get demonetized. I work too hard for that shit. Oh, I had 3 at one time, back to 2. Somebody wasn't impressed. I thought things were actually picking up for just a moment there. And they possibly could, man, if somebody just hop on and fucking say something, throw out a topic. I don't know. Like I said, y'all like movies? American movies? I've seen a few Japanese movies. French, Australian. Anybody from Africa in the house tonight? Huh? No. Nobody from Africa. What's another obscure place? What's the most obscure place? American movies. You like movies? You like, okay. I haven't seen a whole lot of movies and like newer movies in the last decade or so, but I used to watch a shitload. I've got a pretty extensive old DVD collection. You like comedies, action movies? Rom-coms? No, I'm kidding. Fucking rom-coms. Pineapple Express? Dale Denton and Saul? Reservoir Dogs? I mean, I'm not sure exactly where to start, how to kick this off, guys. But oh my goodness. Hey, what's up? That's cool. You're still awake and actually somehow found this. And this is the very first time I've ever done this like myself on my own channel or anything. And I just like fired it up out of the blue after everybody was done, just to try it out and see if I could make it work, and maybe do this from time to time. But yeah, hell yeah, I love Pineapple Express too. So were you the other person that was lurking for a while? Had a couple people bounce in and out that I had no clue who it was. I was kind of hoping it was somebody who knew, or at least semi knew me or whatever, and was just like fucking with me and thought it would be funny, because I'm sure, like I said, I thought it would be funny. 20 minutes or so, it wasn't that funny to me anymore. I was beginning to get sad. No. Hey, what's up, Kurtwood, man? Thanks for stopping by, you guys. For real, like, you guys just like dug me up and found it. Crazy. And now they're just like flowing in. Nuts. This is crazy. Was not expecting that. Thought you guys were all going to bed. If you were all going to stay up and party, man, we could have just kept on hanging out. You could have called in. Or I could have just hopped in the car. What? Wonder Woman's probably on the way. We'll drive up there to find Kurtwood. I don't know. Sorry, guys. Like I said, it's kind of awkward. I don't really know what the hell I'm doing. You okay? No, I haven't been okay. Not a long time, probably. But no, yeah, I'm all right. Oh, that's pretty awesome, Kurt. I appreciate it, man. Especially when I know you're tired. Are you calling in to work? Are you gonna make it worthwhile, or are you you really coming in here and you're gonna pay for it? I know you're tired. You can go ahead and go to bed. Like I said, I do appreciate you stopping by. And like I said, this is my very first time, and I'm bad with technology and shit. Oh, you did? Hell yeah! I'm so proud of you. Oh, bitch ass. Fuck you, Ryan. No. Hell yeah! Called into work so he could stay up late and play with his friends on the internet. Golly, that's cool. Hell yeah! Fuck them. The airport can run, huh? No, you probably are an important cog for all that shit's to work. Everything is, especially when it comes to like airports and stuff. Let's talk music. Okay. I like music. I like everything except for like newer R&B, basically, and opera. Not into opera, but I like at least a little bit of everything else. I keep the radio station in my car to the oldies station though. That's probably what I listen to the most when I'm driving around. Just spoke. Yeah, it's important though. Every spoke's important. The hub, every part of the wheel. The valve stem, the valve core, just a little tiny piece, man. But back that thing up out of there, and people got problems. You might even have them perplexed for a whole day. But yeah, I'm almost 40, so as far as like a lot of the music that I just happened to love or whatever, was from when I was like coming of age or whatever, as a teenager, from the 90s, mid to late 90s. Smashing Pumpkins. I listened to that a lot. Saw them in concert. Went to a lot of concerts in the 90s. I went to several concerts, but I saw a lot of bands because several of the shows I went to were festivals. So they went like all day long. And they were fun. They used to be at the All Sports Stadium in Oklahoma City here, and they were pretty cool. I went to the Horde Fest and saw Smashing Pumpkins, Local H. Man, I've seen Sammy Hagar like 4 times. Let's see. I saw Dee Dee Ramone like just a few weeks before he passed. He was like ODing on stage. That was kind of crazy. Not real cool or anything, or even a good show by any means. Everything sucked about that. Didn't get a refund either. That was in Corona, California, back in 2002, I think. Let's see. Dang, it's weird because I've seen so many and can't think of them. I've seen Three Doors Down, Linkin Park, Papa Roach, Head PE. Let's see. Damn. Trying to think about tickets now. I used to keep tickets. I don't do it anymore, and it's been a long time. I've seen ZZ Top. Kid Rock twice. David Allan Coe. 38 Special. Jackal. Seen Jackal. Watched the dude get down, and that guy had a chainsaw. That was crazy. Guy cut a stool for no reason with a chainsaw and just like threw like thousands of wood. And I think it was maybe the bassist or guitar player. He had this like super long curly hair, like down to the back of his knees probably, and that dude just like threw wood chips all in that shit during that show. I felt pretty sorry for that dude. He was going to be digging that shit out for a while. Let's see. I saw Twisted. That was one of the more recent shows I went to. There was a whole bunch of bands there. That was at the Vans. God dang, what the hell's the name of the festival? They had it every year. I've been to a few of them. That's funny. There might be something hanging on the wall. House of Vans. No. God damn it. What's the name of the Vans festival they have every year? Last year or 2 years ago, it was supposed to be the last one. Anyway, they got a bunch of them emu bands or whatever. I don't really listen to a lot of that type of music either, I guess. Not that it's bad. I just don't really listen to it. Holy crap. Let's see. Did I say Local H already? Local H was actually like one of the coolest bands I've seen for just 2 guys. Man, they put on a hell of a show. Oh, man. I don't know. I know there's more. They'll probably come to me. Does anybody else want to? Damn, chat's kind of dead. People sitting here. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it rolling. I'm trying to think of bands right now that with just thinking about music. I've listened to a lot of different kinds of music at different times. I'm have an addictive personality. I get hooked on things for a while. The hat looked good. It just happens to look good. You like Boston or? What are my breeding plans? Oh man. And I hope to put together a whole lot of cool snakes and make really awesome ones. No, I'm just kidding. Dang, I don't mind going into them at all. I have no secrets or anything like that. And like I say, I'm mostly just raising up hatchlings right now, so it's not like I'm breeding anything. I am going on someone else's show tomorrow, and I think that's supposed to be like one of the topics. But I mean, there's only a couple of you guys here, and I guess if I just delete this afterwards or something, nobody'd ever. We can talk what I've got in the racks, I guess, if you guys want, and I'll tell you. I don't mind. Like I said, I've got no secrets in it. It's not like I got any kind of, $50,000 fucking snakes or anything, or any clutches that could ever come out like that crazy money. But I have right now I have three visual pied females, and I have three visual clown combo females. And I have a orange dream yellow belly double het clown pied male that I plan to put to basically, the pieds and the clowns. And then, each one, hopefully I'll get some visuals, and then they'll be 50% het for, the other thing, whether they're, clowns 50% het for pied at that time. Or some of them will be 100% het clown, because I'm not going to hit on all of them, obviously. But yeah, so the first round is mostly trying to make clown combos het for pied combos het for clown. They're only going to be 50%, so it'll be a lot of holding back basically everything and breeding them back together. But hopefully in like 5 years I'll have several clutches and might hit a clown pied or two and prove out some things, and then be able to work with those animals once I know what what they've got. So that's probably the biggest and main, and could be at least the most exciting. As of right now, I don't have any double recessive visual things or anything. My other snakes are mostly albino. I'd say probably half or real close to half of all the snakes I have are visual albino of some sort. And almost all females, of course. I have 21 snakes right now, and only two of them are males. So I have 19 females, 2 males. I have one more male hatchling that's on the way. Yeah, clown. Yeah, clown's awesome, man. It's cool. I was kind of scared to get into it at the beginning because the price of things. So I got into just like, oh, well, I could just make cool things just using codoms and stuff and make really neat looking stuff. And the more I researched, it was like, but they don't necessarily, other than being, they're valuable as far as, they can be valuable and they're pretty, and, certain combos, you can just like throw a clown or a pied or whatever, to make really valuable combo hits real fast. So I'm not trying to say that just codom snakes without recessive genes are not valuable, but they become real valuable as soon as you can do things like that. But anyway, so I bought my first couple of snakes were just like codoms with no recessives, and I quickly realized that I should buy some recessive stuff. And I did like albino, even though I realized most people kind of didn't want to at least work with it, because it's just mostly white and yellow snakes, and it's kind of hard to see a lot of things. But I like them. And like I said, at first I was kind of scared to spend much money, even though it just quickly avalanched, and I spent a lot of money. A lot of money for me, not for a lot of folks, but let's see. Dang, so I have a hard time telling stories sometimes. I don't want to get lost. So anyway, yeah. So I started buying albinos. I had bought like three codom females locally, and then I started buying visual recessive snakes from Garrick DeMeyer. I bought 8, I think, yeah, 8 visual recessive snakes from Garrick DeMeyer in the first week that I started buying things. I bought three visual, just single gene pied females, and 5 albino and albino combo females. So yeah, so like within the first week, I went from 0 snakes to 11 snakes, and my rat projects weren't working yet, so I was having to feed them and drive a little over an hour each way to go pick up feeders, and it was a nightmare. And then they didn't, sorry, they didn't always have as many as I'd need, shit like that. And then like as I got a few more and a few more, they really didn't always have what I need. Like one time I went in, I was like, I need 20. He was like, come back, I got 3. It's like, oh shit, and then went in there a week later, hey, I need 20, and they come back, well, we got 7. Like, oh, well, that sucks. Go in there a couple weeks later, hey man, you got like 20, 25, and they're like, oh, we don't have anything. We're trying to work with a new supplier, so hopefully we'll have something in another week or 2. It's like, fuck. And luckily, like I said, I was already in the process of breeding my own rats. Things hadn't picked up and I hadn't learned very much and figured them out. But mostly they just, they weren't old enough and weren't producing fast enough. Because, when you got 11 snakes and you're feeding them twice a week, that shit goes fast. I think I just kind of skimmed through some stuff and roundabout guesstimated, and I think I've fed over 550 feeders in my little small collection this year. And if I would have had to pay, retail price at my supplier, which is not an exorbitant amount. They're like $2.50 for rat pups, and maybe $2.75 for a wean, something like that. And that's usually what I'm buying, just fuzzies and weans and pups and shit. But yeah, so if I was to just like go and if I had to buy them all, that'd have been like $1,200, man, just to feed my collection for these last few months, and that's crazy. That's a lot. I wouldn't be able to afford that, especially knowing that I'd have to sustain it just constantly. There's no way. So I knew from the get-go that I wouldn't be able to raise snakes and breed snakes and do this without having the rats to do it with to begin with. So I started out with a colony of rats before I ever bought snakes. They just didn't breed as fast as I thought they should, and I had to buy and supplement for a long time. And I'm still supplementing every now and then, but I'm only having to go like once a month for like 5 fuzzies or something. And even then, I probably don't necessarily have to, but I can kind of see like how many I've got. And then I'm like, if I have a few, then I won't have to worry, and my next batch can all grow up and I'll have actually bigger feeders, because I've got a couple that are getting not big, but I don't know, 800 grams, maybe 900, something like that. But yeah, and they vary. Like I said, I pretty much kind of only buy hatchlings, and I kind of can't stop buying. So as I go, they just kind of just keep getting smaller and smaller. So I've got snakes all the way from, like I said, 800 or 900 down to like 120. Pieds and ghosts. Yeah. Pied and ghost is really cool. I like them a lot. I like I like a lot of stuff. I like Pied and everything. I like Ghost, and I really like Ghost and Axanthic, or Ghost and Genetic Stripe is cool. Ghost with Inchi and Genetic Stripe is still fairly basic, even though it's double recessive, but not extremely expensive. Like it's obtainable for people. I saw Fireball had one for like $700 or something the other day, and man, it looked awesome because it still had the full G stripe down it, and then I guess the hypo and the Inchi were working together to keep a whole lot of the side pattern on the snake, and it was pretty cool. Like at least the last half still had like blocks going down the side, and then it still had the stripe down the back. It's neat. Bananas are cool, man. Bananas are awesome. I have two bananas right now, both females. One is Banana Fire Pinstripe, and the other is a Banana Clown. Both of them are pretty neat. I like them. I'm torn. I almost want to go buy a Banana Pied male, even though like I don't want it. I don't I don't want it. I don't need it. It's not necessarily something that I want to use in my plans. But I do really like the looks of the Banana Pieds, and a female is like $1,200. And right now I could pick up a male for what was it, just over 300 right now, I think. I've got a damn gift card to Wilbanks, man, and I've had it for like 7 or 8 months now. It's not huge, but it's enough to knock off a chunk to where his expensive snakes are, about the same as everyone else's, and then I only have to pay tax versus shipping like most people would. So like right now, I could pick up a Inchi Het Clown female for like $85 or something. So I'm torn, thinking about doing that. Or he's got some pied females that are not too terribly priced, and like I said, with the discount, they wouldn't be too bad. And if I get it and tell them I want to pick it up next Saturday, I could possibly be there when Esco and Brian Barczyk are there at Wilbanks facility doing their little video and shit. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to like just drive up there, and like I say, I could buy something. I'm not just gonna try to drive up there and hang out, but I could buy a new snake or a batch of feeders or something and drive up there and hope that I could maybe see him. But yeah, bananas are cool, man. They change quite a bit. A lot of them do. The speckles are in the purple. I don't know. You may have figured that out by now, but the speckles basically are only in the purple. So the bananas and the banana combos that have lots of purple tend to have lots of speckling. It's not always the case, but like banana black pastel, they look really neat and they're young and they got lots of purple and stuff, and then they tend to get loads of black speckles. Which I mean, if that's your thing, that's pretty cool, and I like them both ways, but they look so awesome as babies that I'd like them to stay that way a lot of times. But yeah, does anybody like albino stuff? I could talk about the albinos I've got if anybody wants to hear it, or if you want to talk about a different thing, or we can keep talking bananas or boas or monitors or beer, whiskey. guns. Um, dang. I feel like I can't wait till Reptile Feedings gets another ball, a new ball python or two. Glock 19X. Okay, we can talk that. Man, I don't know. That's tough. When that gun came out, I don't know who was looking for it exactly, but I know there had to be some, and I don't understand exactly why. It's like a little, like the little mullet guns, all short up front and long in the back. I felt like I wanted mine the opposite. I wanted a shorter grip. I like the Glock 19 grip. I like the Glock 26 grip pretty good too. Glock 17 grip a whole lot, which the Glock 19X has. It's really cool that they changed the color. I used to keep up with the Glock stuff a lot, but it's been a few years, so I don't know the long term on the, I believe it's NVD on that gold finish or whatever that they put on the slide. I do believe it's probably pretty tough. Most of their stuff usually is, as far as finish and stuff and corrosion resistance. I like that they put the +2 base plate on it for 19 rounds in that magazine. I have one. I think I just have one. Yeah, I have a 19X magazine, even though I don't have a 19X gun. I bought one. I thought it was pretty cool. It's nice to have a couple extra rounds on board. But like I said, I didn't think they needed to have a short barrel and slide with a more capacity, but I do understand that it makes sense for like things like law enforcement, security, people who are going to be in cars a lot or sitting. But the 19X with the crazy gold and shit color, was certainly not like going to be a duty weapon necessarily, like for police. It's always black or what have you. So what is it, the Glock 45 or whatever, the one that's exactly like the 19X but black, basically? Or I think there's a couple minor things. I'll say exactly, and if any of you guys are true Glock fanboys or aficionados, you probably talk shit or say it's not exactly the same. It's probably got, I think it's got different spring cups, maybe, things like that. The 19X probably got maritime spring cups that they used to put in some of the pistols in the 18 and some of the other ones. I used to get those and put them in most of my guns. Whether or not they ran better, I don't know. I think they ran just fine usually, no matter what. You can modify the spring cups yourself. And there used to be some other companies that would modify the spring cups to basically to maritime standards. And it's just basically like cutting little notches in there. If you've ever taken your Glocks apart and pulled it down to the little striker assembly, you can, once you back pull this tension off the spring, there's the two little spring cups that are little halves, and they slip down into the spring, and you pull those out, and you can put new ones in there with basically like slots ground out of them or whatever, and that allows debris and water to flow through a little easier, or at least supposedly. It has been proven to allow water to flow through a little better and ignite primers more often, I guess, even though it's probably still not super reliable. Glock and Springfield. I like Glock and I like Springfield too, I guess. I like their guns. Don't get me wrong. Not a damn thing wrong with their guns. They make quality stuff. The only issues I might have with them is like the stances that they took a while, years ago. And like I said, it's been years since I've kept up with gun stuff. But they kind of got on the wrong bandwagon for a while with a few other gun companies. Springfield Armory did, but I have nothing against their guns. Even the made in Croatia XDs are excellent, although they're heavy as shit. But they are accurate and reliable as shit, man. Springfield XD is one of the few semi-autos that, like, if I was trying to arm a family member or one of my kids or something, was like, man, I need a pistol and I've got, $300 and the pawn shop had one, I would have no problem with just picking that up and expecting it to work. I would go ring it out, and test it obviously before I trust my life or my family's life to it. But I would expect that it would work. I would have no problem buying one. I used to have an XD40 tactical for a while, and it was a great gun. I had a buddy that had an XD9, another great gun. I had another buddy that had an XD45 that was maybe an even better gun. I really liked the 45. His 45 actually held one more round than my 40 caliber did. The 45 held 13, and the 40 caliber XD and the first edition held 12. Even in the big tactical model, the biggest one they fucking made. It was a bit of a letdown. But the gun itself wasn't. The gun itself was great. Loved it. Yeah, I like Springfield. And they make a lot of good guns. They make the M1A. I've always wanted one of those. Hopefully someday I might have one. Desert Wolf's got one. It's pretty sweet. I've had a lot of Glocks, mostly 19s, 17s, 26s. I've had the 19C, the compensated version, the factory compensated one. That was pretty cool. That was maybe the softest shooting 9mm I've ever had, as far as polymer guns especially. Well, we're on guns right now. If you're, oh yeah, she's probably cool with guns. Man, got that side-by-side shotgun. That was pretty neat. I wasn't expecting that. XDM9. See, and as far as I understand it, that's an even better gun than the ones I'm used, that I have experience with. And like I said, they were great. Yeah. When it came out, I believe it was the first 9mm to have 19+1. That was a big selling point for them. Yeah, see, they got the same round count in that gun as the Glock 19X had, with the big extended magazine. If I had to choose one, I'd probably still take the Glock, but I certainly wouldn't. I wouldn't have a problem grabbing an XD and thinking, yeah, it's gonna work. It'll work. They work well. You beat the shit out of it, and it'll still work. I'll tell you what, man. It's a fucked up story, and I mean, I guess it's really not too bad. When you think about it, after all, but yeah, my buddy who had that 45 XD, we were shooting one day, and we were shooting off of one of those really big, I'm sorry, my hands are out here. It was big, this makes it look tiny, but big old giant spools, like those wooden spools for like cable or something, they haul on big trucks and shit. And people, random people will get them and use them for like tables in the backyard, random shit or whatever. Anyhow, there was one of those spools laid down, and we were using it like a table and shooting. And my buddy had laid his XD45 down like at the front of the table, and we didn't think nothing of it, and we're shooting. And then I got up there with my AK. I used to have one 7.62 by 39, just an old Romanian Wasser 10. Anyhow, I sat down and behind the bench, behind the gun, and I fired off a few rounds, and And then he kind of caught my attention out of the side, and he was like, "Hey, man," he was like, "Watch out, dude, my gun's laying there in front of you." And I was like, I can't see it, like I've been shooting. I think it's okay, And he was like, "Well," and he didn't just say, "Hey, man, stop, let me get my gun out of the way" or something. He was just like, "Hey, watch out." And I was like, "Well, okay, I'm trying to watch out. I wouldn't, And then, bam, the fucking next round, and I never saw it in my sights or anything, but for some reason, like I was just shooting at just the right angle. His gun was laying there, and I was shooting from this side, and it fucking caught the trigger guard right here, right at the edge, right by the mag release and stuff. It hit the trigger guard. Boom! 7.62 by 39. And it took out a big old half moon chunk out of the trigger guard, and it bent the mag release button, which on those is ambidextrous. And it bent it just a tiny bit, just enough where it wouldn't release the mag from the right side going in. But like if you're right-handed using your thumb pushing, it would still drop. So it didn't necessarily like take his gun out of commission and stuff. And I felt super bad, so bad. I offered to replace his gun on the spot, no problem. It was like, I'll fucking buy it from you. I'm sorry. It shouldn't have happened. But we were good friends, and he was like, "Nah, man, it's all right." He picked it up, checked it out. It's like, still works. And but yeah, and it did. It still fucking worked, no problem. Like I said, it was real sticky on the mag release going from the right side to the left, but from the left side back to the right, like normal, it worked just fine. And he continued to use that gun for years before he sold it. So yeah, I have no qualms about, if I were to have to pick up an XD and go to battle, go to war, yeah, it's a go to war ready gun. Yeah, but there are a lot of them now, man. It's, when I was a little kid, there were, especially autos and stuff, had a bad name, and and a lot of companies did, especially like Taurus. They had earned a bad name by like the 80s and early 90s. But really, by the time I came of age and was able to buy guns legally and shit, most of that shit had been kind of worked out, and guns had gotten better and better, and they still are, I think. And now it's almost, whereas before it was kind of like if you were buying a budget gun or something, it was like, it's probably a piece of shit. And then, maybe, he got lucky, he got lucky with his Taurus or this and that, or, but nowadays it's like it's the opposite, where most of them are good, and there's still some rough ones here and there, especially with budget brands. They don't have the money and the quality control, and the parts aren't typically, you get a lot of MIM parts. MIM, which I'm not scared of MIM so much as a lot of, especially 1911 people are. Oh God, if you've ever been on any kind of forums or know any hardcore 1911 people or something, about the, and for the most part they're okay. And if people, if you shoot the shit out of your gun, realize you're wearing it out, just like your car. You drive the hell out of that thing, go ramping the fuck out of your pickup truck, and run up and down dirt roads every day, within a few years, it's going to need a lot of suspension parts and bushings and shit, Those things are going to be fucked up and wore out. In a gun, it's the same way. Your springs and shit they're going to wear out, and you replace them and at decent intervals. Sometimes they'll break before, and it does suck because, we may have to rely on these things to save our life or something, damn, I need to quit leaning on the table, huh? It's shaking it. So I mean, it does suck that, parts break, but I mean, it's just how it is, how it's going to be. They don't break as often as they used to. Nothing almost does. As far as gun wise, guns are way more reliable than they've ever been. That's not to say that guns are that or most guns are more well put together or anything like that. You know, they're not mostly hand fitted and shit like they used to be 50 or 80 or 100 years ago. And, you know, using nice forged fucking parts and stuff. But they used that because that's what they had and that's what they knew and that's all that, you know. You know, if in the 1930s they would have had MIM stuff, they would have been using it. And it would have been just fine and all, but most, you know, Magnum shit. But, you know, it is what it is. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Springfield makes a lot of 1911s, and they have some MIM parts in a lot of them now. Some of them are made in Brazil. They're fine too. Taurus, mostly made in Brazil until a few years ago. Now they're in Miami. This is a Taurus. I got this little baby pistol right here that I keep on me all the time. This is a Taurus. I trust my life to a Taurus 24 hours a day. I may or may not have another or bigger gun with me, but I always have that little Taurus 380 right there. And it has like a little tiniest non-existent almost sights that are just barely like milled into the top of the slide. I have no problem with them. They works fine, you know. I practice with it in a while, but I have a shot timer. Use a shot timer and practice with that. That's fun. You know, do some drills. I like to shoot steel targets mostly. I like shooting water jugs and shit like that when I use rifles, high velocity stuff. I reload. I reload lots of calibers. I have several calibers. I like old guns. I like new guns. I like revolvers. You know, I like revolvers just as much as I like Glocks. I've got a few revolvers. I prefer stainless guns, not for the look, but because I'm hard on shit. And I have a tendency to not take as good a care of things as I should. But I know that and I understand it. So I try not to ruin nice, fancy blue guns. I just typically simply just don't buy them because I know they'll end up rusty and shit. Not that, you know, I don't know how to take care of a gun, but I am a bit hard on them. I don't baby them a lot. I don't mind or get too upset if I fucking drop a gun on the pavement right outside here. Actually, a few years ago, I dropped a brand new Glock 26 from, I don't know, from my lap sitting in my truck or whatever and jumped out onto the ground and, you know, it hit the ground. The only thing that really happened was it banged up the polymer sights that Glocks come with, you know, which is a downfall. I think it's kind of shitty when they're at the price point. They should have steel sights from the factory. I guess I can rant a little bit on Glock about that. They cost enough that they should have steel sights. They have steel sights. Glock can and will provide you with steel sights for like $15. You know, a lot of people don't know, and you have to like order your gun with it or buy the sights. Most people, you will buy the sights and like go to your local gun shop, gunsmith, somebody like that. Anybody with a sight pusher can do it properly and easily and just in a few minutes. It's not hard to do. Working on Glocks is super easy. Anything on a Glock is super easy. That's one of the reasons I like Glocks a lot. It's extremely easy to learn how to do every single thing on it and pull the entire gun apart down to like every single part, down to single parts, which things like a 1911 are fucking ridiculous, you know, compared to it. It's way more difficult and in depth. Yeah, Glocks are cool, man. They're modular. They're like Barbies and shit for grown men and women. You know, whatever. You know, I'm not trying to exclude the ladies. You know, plenty of women like guns just as much as men do, and that's cool. I like it. My wife likes guns. She doesn't have a ton. She has a few. She shoots pretty good. Oh crap. So how's it going? All right so far? Is it okay? Horrible? Is it the same people that have just been sitting here, or just flowing new in and out? I do need to run and grab another beer. I'm not leaving. I'll be right back in about maybe 1 minute. I'd appreciate it if y'all stick around. Maybe more than 1 minute. Oh, sorry about that. Wow, didn't lose anybody. Are you crazy? You kidding me? You're exactly right. You're exactly right, man. No, you're a rock star, Kurtwood. You guys are awesome, man. I can't believe you guys are sitting here, and you don't have to, man. If you guys want to, go to bed or something, it's cool. Yeah, man, that's nuts. I don't know how, but if like one or more of you guys want to try to like get on here, if you can walk me through it, I'll drop some links or whatever. Russian, man, I can't talk like FPS Russia, or I'd do it for you. I'd do it for you every day if I could, but I would just butcher it. What was it? Hello, my friends. That's I can say what he said, but I won't try to mimic the voice. My voice is horrible anyway, man. What's it been? Like 18 years ago, I got in a car wreck in my Volkswagen, smashed my nose and shit, and broke the hell out of my nose, kind of. So, or broke the hell of it, kind of. No, it didn't really need resetting, but it was smashed good. So That's why I sound kind of nasally and weird. I don't sound the same way I did when I was a kid. And I hate my voice, which is one of the main things that kept me from doing anything like this. In a sense, other than the fact that I didn't really think anybody gave a shit about, what I was doing or had to say or anything like that. As far as, wanting to come watch me. Like, hey, that's my program. Because that's kind of how I am now. I'm like, oh shit, Kurtwood's coming on. Back the fuck up. I'm getting ready to get online, Or everybody else. Iron Dog, it's like, oh my God. There's been so many. I found Iron Dog, and maybe I can't remember if it was just him or it must have been my Iron Animal show that I just happened upon, and that's how I found like all you guys. It's fucking awesome. And it was weird because like I was watching tons of ball python stuff, and just slowly kind of ended up finding you guys, and then just kind of like got caught up into this cool little whirlwind of shit. And there's just so much stuff even right here that I'm like, I even still kind of try to reach out because I'm like, oh man, well there's ball python content that I still want to watch. And it's like, yeah, but it's the same time as all these other guys. And it's not like, I mean, I know I can go watch whatever I want, but I try my best to at least, I'll bring them up in 2 or 3 or 4 tabs as long as my internet will hold out, and maybe just mute them and at least try to, give you guys the watch time and the likes and everything on every one of them. But yeah, it's crazy. There's so much content, so many videos, so many lives, especially at nighttime. How many drinks? I don't know. Oh man. Ooh. It's more than I thought. It's more than I have really ever anymore, I guess. Damn. Y'all, stick around for a little bit longer. I'll probably be fucked up. You can get me to say all kinds of stupid shit. I've already ran out of them other ones. Now I got to switch to these big fuckers. Let me know if y'all like natural light. Most don't. I used to drink it a lot. I used to be one that I liked. But I drink all kinds of shit now, I guess. I think you think I have a lot of good things to say. Oh, that's nice of you. I'd like to think I might, but to get them all out like in one string or something like that, I almost need help, I have a hard time putting together lots of good things without screwing up somehow. I take things way too far, like nasty stuff or fucked up things. I'm not talking about, well, I guess you can take it however you want to. This is an adult channel. My wife she's always telling me I take things way too far. But yeah, that and I'm not a real good storyteller. I bounce around. I'm horrible at it. But I'm kind of obsessive about lots of things. No, not like necessarily in a bad way, but like as soon as I catch on to something that I like and I get interested in, 100% full blast all the way. I'll spend hours and hours a day if I have them available, just dedicated to those things, and day after day after day after day for as long as it takes until I realize that it's bothering me, it's somehow affecting my life, or I find something new, something else catches my attention and I get on something else. But yeah, snakes and reptiles and stuff is something I've been into my entire life and always have wanted to do. And in my when I was a young adult, I really wanted to breed snakes for a living. I actually I knew who Ozzy Boyds was. Like 17 years ago or 18 years ago, something like that. Like I knew him when it seemed like he was into mostly boas. I won't say, like I knew what the hell he was doing. It's not like I knew who he was. I was just a kid that was on the earlier days of the internet and, they're finding out about snakes and breeders and stuff. But yeah, he had loads of cool boas, and I was mostly into boas. That's what I wanted to get into then. And I didn't. I bought a couple of them, but they were just regular, and they all got loose. Only one, I got one of them back. I kept him for like 8 years, but never bred anything. It's a pretty quick synopsis on most of that. But yeah, I wanted to get into snakes a long time ago. Sorry. And I just didn't have the money. I didn't have the money, and I didn't really know how necessarily as much as I should have, or whatever. Like I said, I was able to keep the boa alive for 8 years. So I mean, I wasn't totally clueless. And like I said, I'm obsessive about this shit. Like anything I get into, I learned as much as I could. But I didn't keep the room it was in at a perfect temp and shit like that. Hot spots probably wasn't perfect and this and that, but so honestly, back then I probably wasn't quite ready to jump right in and spend many thousands of dollars and go into a breeding thing. Even though if I would have, I know myself, and I would have, done much more research and hopefully back then you had to basically you weren't getting information from anybody unless you were buying shit from them, and most likely like a fair price or amount of stuff. Just buying a regular Colombian boa, they were just like, fuck you, probably. But maybe if you had bought a pair of sharp albinos or something back then, the guy would keep, you could keep in touch with him and he'd help you with husband shit. But for the most part, man, people were on their own, man. You were buying maybe little booklets and things. I'm probably butchering this horribly, but there's a guy who's horribly smart, DVM, I believe, Philippe de Vosjoli or something like that, Vosjoli, I believe. He wrote lots of books and about snakes and stuff on like snake care and shit. But they were just, kind of the thin general guides, like keep it approximately this temp and this and this. And like I said, that basically was enough for me to keep it alive for several years, but I probably wouldn't have been successful breeding. But like I said, it was really, I thought it was really awesome back then. Ozzy Boyds was around back then. Burke Reptiles was out then. Jeff Ronnie, the Boaphile. If any of you guys have a clue who that is, if you're into boas, you might. And then he made Boaphile plastics and stuff, I think. Started making cages. He had some fucking crazy looking snakes. Of course, a lot of these guys did. That's back when hypos, salmons, and super hypos, super salmons, those were hot and were expensive. And there was anery, albino, motley, and arabesque. And that was about it, I think, mostly for the boa morphs. But that's what I wanted to get into, and sun glows and moon glows and stuff were coming out right then, and I thought they were amazing. They were expensive. I couldn't afford them. I didn't get them, and like I said, I had the boa. I had him for like 8 years, and then I went several years with no reptiles at all. And then last year I was going to go into a different business. I had some money saved up. And then the more I looked into it and the more I thought about it and how much more that it was probably going to cost me, that I didn't kind of plan on, even though I knew it was not going to be cheap. Anyhow, I had some money saved up, which was a lot of money for me, not a lot of money for most, but I decided not to do the other thing, and right at the same time, I started seeing some snakes somehow, some ball pythons, and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, man, those are cool. And I was just like, oh, yeah, let me look at that. And then let me look at the other one. And I started looking, was like, holy cow, dude. Back when I was looking at them before, back in like 03, 04, it was mostly like bumblebees, spiders, pastels, still single gene stuff mostly, and maybe like 2 genes together. And there were probably a couple of guys who had 3 and 4 genes together maybe by then, but there wasn't really out much and not available to buy. Because even the bumblebees, I think, were like $4,000 or some shit, and you had to buy them from Nerd because they were about the only ones that had them. They had an amazing website back then in like 2003. Maybe it was 4, might have been 04, but yeah, awesome website, cool pictures, these amazing looking snakes. That was like, how do you get this bright yellow snake, from this what's kind of almost a drab tan and brown or whatever, like a cool looking snake, but it's like, wow, you took that and turned it into what's the bumblebee. It's a drastic difference. I don't give a shit who you are. So it's like, holy cow, look at that, that's awesome, I'd love to have that. And it's like, oh, that's $4,500, right? Yeah, I won't be having one of those. What else they got? Oh, well, there's one of the ingredients to make it, that's $1,500. What's the other ingredients, like $1,800 or something. It's like, fuck, I can't afford any of this. Like I can't even get started. So I was like, well, boas are the way to go. I could at least buy like a hypo boa for I think like around $400 back then. So I was like, well, I could get a hypo boa, and then maybe another hypo and make super hypos, and then start that way. And then once I make some, start, maybe branching out and selling some and buying fancier shit, of course. But yeah, like I said, that never came to fruition or anything, and I didn't do shit except for keep that one snake for a few years. And then now, last year came around, had some money saved up, saw all these cool snakes, kept seeing more and more, and then started seeing the prices, and it was like, wow, that $4,500 snake, I can get one now for like $225. Like, holy shit. And you can get that same snake with 1 or 2 more genes added, and it's still only like $300 or $400. And like I said, this was only last year, so the spider thing had already, taken effect and affected the cost of the value of a lot of snakes in most people's eyes, at least, I guess. So I was like, wow, dude, those spiders, they're fucking super cheap. All those things that, the cool snakes that you can make that were $5,000 are now like $500 or $200. And I was like, fuck, man, I can do this now, I have a little bit more money than I used to have, and the snakes are way cheaper than they used to be. And there's a whole lot more variety. There's even more of them. So it's like, yeah. So I researched like all summer or whatever. I kept looking, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I talked to my wife. I was just like, hey, I'm thinking about just doing this instead. She's like, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. I know you wanted to do it before and you couldn't, and if you want to do it now, go ahead. So it's like, oh, awesome. I was watching all these YouTube videos and like, what do I want to do? Where do I want to start? What genes do I want to work with? Finding things out. I actually watched a ton of Chris Hardwick videos and shit at the beginning, just to see all the different stuff, because he packs so many different pictures, essentially, I guess, into each video. But yeah, so it was cool, and you can kind of see a lot of times like, oh, okay, that's $400 or $500. That might be in my range, and then sometimes they were like, oh, that's $1,500, and I was like, yeah, I'm not buying that. I can't afford it. And then like I started, I think I spent $85 on my first snake and the first ball python. It was just a single gene cinnamon. And then, shit, what was it? Like I said, like it was a couple days later, I spent like $400, and then I spent $500. And then, like I said, at the very same time, I was shopping online with Garrick, and fuck, I bought those 8 snakes for I can't remember exactly now, but it was like $16 or $1,700, something like that, or it might have been 1,800. It was less than 2,000 for 8 snakes, but they were all about 8 visual females. I got one albino female, they're all females, so I got one albino inchy, one albino pinstripe, one albino lesser, one albino, what was it? Fuck. Damn. Oh, and 3 pieds. And damn, I might be missing one. I thought I could remember them all. Yeah, I got albino inchy, albino lesser, albino pinstripe. A Toffino. That's why I couldn't think of it. It's a Toffino. A Toffino, and then the 3 pieds. I got those 8 snakes in one box. That was pretty neat. Like, just open, like, piebald, albino inchy, albino pinstripe, albino lesser. There's a Toffino, like some purple. It was really neat. It was cool. But man, that was a lot of money for me. But like I said, the only way I was able to do it was because I just happened to have it saved up, and this other business venture kind of fizzled out and decided not to. So I bought those snakes in November, and I received them the first week of December. I had to drive all the way, like a 2.5, 3-hour round trip, twice a week, basically, to feed them. Or, well, I'd try to go like once every week and a half. I had like some cages and shit set up where I'd buy more than I need, take them home, like, give me twice as many hoppers as I need, and I'll just like feed them and keep them alive for another 4 days, and then feed them again. And I'd have to go up there like maybe 3 times a month as my rats grew and bred and shit finally. But yeah, so by December I had 11 snakes and had rats that were not producing. And then in January I had the itch again, and was waiting, for the weather to warm up, because that's where last winter there was all kinds of issues with the FedEx man. With FedEx. Who was it? Dave Palumbo had a big issue with FedEx. Billy Rose, Mutation Creation, had that major ordeal with FedEx, man. About had me crying. That was fucked up. But yeah, and some other people also all kind of had big issues, like in early winter with FedEx. So everybody was kind of scared of that. So it was like, well, we're just basically going to wait. And I knew nobody was going to want to ship in the middle of winter and Christmas time coming up. I was like, if this is happening in the very first week of December, what's it going to be like, Christmas to New Year's, first week after New Year's, when people are returning shit left and right, I knew they'd be slammed. So, and most of the breeders, I think, finally started realizing that too. Not that they probably didn't know that the holiday slam thing, but so I waited until February, and then I called Garrick again, and I wanted to do a rail project. After first 11 snakes kind of the willy-nilly, you know, like I understood that the snakes would be okay, you know, they would be good enough to make decent enough stuff people would want. I could sell, you know, plain albinos, I can sell plain piebalds and things like that, because I knew I wanted to breed and actually do it, you know, at least somewhat as a business, you know, like I didn't think I was going to jump in and be Aussie or Billy or, you know, or even fucking anybody small, you know, you got to just start off. But so like I did, and I didn't have a mentor. I had nobody. I was not on any social media. I wasn't even on YouTube hardly. Well, I was on YouTube just watching videos. I didn't even have an account so I couldn't even comment or anything. I was just watching, soaking things up, trying to learn. You know, trying to learn about the, you know, spider and champagne, and don't try to make it too, you know, super spider and this and that, you know. And like I said, I knew from before genetics and stuff pretty well, and I have a good science background. I went to school. I didn't finish, but I wanted to be a wildlife biologist. So I'm pretty good with biology and genetics a little bit and things like that. So like I'm no geneticist or anything like that, but simple fucking Punnett squares and that kind of stuff, you know, like I can handle that. So like I can understand genetics when they're, you know, laid out. This is dom, codom, fucking recessive, stuff like that. So that was easy, at least in that aspect, but the learning curve was just huge with the amount of morphs and stuff and what they do with each other and shit, you know, trying to figure things out. And I had nobody to tell me what, you know, what's hot, what's been hot. You know, like I literally went from just like I said, I love snakes, and I used to want to get into it, and I know a fair amount about them or whatever. But I went from basically not knowing shit about ball pythons to one day like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and you know, but I didn't know what was hot last year, what was hot the year before, what was hot 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, what's fallen off, what don't you want to get, you know. Had I known better, I could have scooped up some Desert Ghost females last year while they were still available. Now they're unobtainium, you know. But I didn't know. I didn't know any better, and I was scared to spend big money, you know, on a snake, which I consider just a few $100 is pretty big money to me. But so like I say, I was, but I knew that, you know, I wanted to get into it enough to invest and you know, you can get to the very top, you know, by starting with, you know, just a couple of single genes and normals or whatever, you know, but it's going to be a whole lot faster, you know, if you go ahead and spend a little more money, you know, and it's going to be even faster if you happen to be able to spend a lot of money, you know, or whatever. So I started out spending, you know, small bits of money, and then it was like quickly was like, okay, I need to at least spend a reasonable amount on these snakes. You know, if I spend, you know, $300 on a female, hopefully most of her offspring should bring me $300 or $400. You know, so at least if I have to, you know, and I live in the middle of nowhere in Oklahoma, so it's either going to have to be taking snakes to shows to sell when the time comes, or like kind of the morph market way or whatever, you know. And it didn't take long to look at ads and stuff and realize that it's not worth, you know, the shipping box and everything else, and spending 60 or $75 to send a $75 animal, you know. So I'm just kind of like, well, I need to step it up a little bit then, and at least put myself at, you know, a slightly higher bracket, you know, making like these albinos where they should sell for a couple $100 a piece, hopefully, you know. And that's what I liked. I've always liked albino stuff, so it was something cool anyway that I was going to enjoy. So I started buying those, and then it didn't take too long though to realize that nobody else hardly in the hobby and breeders and stuff really want to work with albino stuff. You know, of course there are some. There's always going to be some and shit. You know, but there are a lot. You know, there's not as many people excited about albino as there are pieds or clowns or nowadays even desert ghost and shit like that. You know, because it's crazy to think that desert ghost has been around for like 15 years or more or something crazy. It's a super old gene, but it just like popped back up and it's worth crazy money. But yeah, so you know, I was buying the albinos and shit, and I bought the single gene pieds first because I was like, okay, I'll buy these 3 single gene pied females, and then later on maybe like you know, a firefly pied male or something like that is what I was thinking at first. You know, or you know, I was like, man, I might be broke when the time comes to get a male, so. You know, at least I can probably be able to afford like a $300 pied male, and I'll be making at least all pieds. You know, and it will pay for itself, and then some, no problem. And then after a while, I was like, you know, that's cool and all, and nothing wrong with it, but it's like if I just making more regular pieds, then what am I going to do the next year or season? You know, and then make some more pieds, you know, or maybe sell a few and then buy, you know, that firefly pied and then make some pastel pieds. And so now I'm like 7 or 8 years in or something, and I'm finally making a pastel pied, you know, and it's like, if I just spent that little bit more, I could buy that to begin with or something, you know. Like, so I just I crept up and started, you know, spending more and more. And it went from like $80 snake to like $400 snakes. And then all of a sudden I was like, I don't need to, but like, you know, if I wanted to make some of these really fucking crazy snakes, man, and not take 10 or 12 or 15 years, the only way to do it is to spend money, you know. And at first I was like, well, I can have $1,500 and I can buy 4 females and have a whole project almost, you know. And it was like, okay, but then now you got that many mouths to feed, and then when the time comes, you got that many babies of all of the same kind, you know. And what if people don't want them? You know, I started seeing some snakes on Morph Market and sitting, you know, even though I thought they might have been cool snakes, and it's like, but damn, that thing's been on there 2 months, 4 months, 6 months. I see snakes on there. They've been on there for like fucking 11. They've been on there as long as I've been looking at snakes. And I'm like, that doesn't look like it's an unreasonable price. But obviously people just don't want it. You know, and it's like, fuck, man. And I started realizing people aren't, you know, that big into albino. You know, what if, you know, if you're not going to shows and selling those $200 snakes to random people who are picking up their first snake or something, you know, and you have to start, you know, you're basically, you know, in this business, it's going to be probably selling to other breeders, you know, whether they're big or new and starting or whatever, you know. So it's like, well, you know, those guys are going to want something a little better. And then even though I'm a nobody, you know, like I still, you know, because at first too, I was like, well, I'm a nobody. Nobody's going to want to buy $1,000 snakes from someone they've never seen, never heard of, you know, shit like that. So I was like, oh man. And that's also kind of what led me to the Instagram, social media and shit. You know, it's like, you're going to have to show somebody something, you know, they're going to have to see it, or you're not going to be able to just be like, hey, yeah, look, I got these fucking orange stream pieds. Who wants to give me $1,500 for this snake that looks like it might just be a regular pied? You know, it might be a $300 snake. It might be a $1,500 snake. You know, who wants to buy this from me? You know, they're like, nah, fuck that. You know, I'll go get it from Aussie or something. So I was like, well, I have to do this kind of thing. And I didn't want to do it. But I also realized that I needed to buy more expensive snakes if I wanted to get there faster. No, you know, like I said, there's nothing wrong with doing it as slow or whatever as you want, or within, you know, whatever budget. Like I said, I don't have a lot of money. Looking at the snakes I have is actually, yeah, I spent a lot more on those than a lot of other aspects of my life. You know, I don't live in a nice house. I don't drive nice cars or anything. Um, and I dumped what anybody with a rational mind that I know in the non-reptile world would freak out and call me all kinds of fucked up idiot names, you know, for if I told them what I'd spent on snakes, you know, as an investment to do, you know, something that I've always loved, and it can way more than pay for itself. Yeah. I live out here where people are buying, you know, well, it used to be cattle and shit like that. Some droughts and things fucked that up several years ago, but I don't even know what's going on too much with the rural markets and stuff anymore. I don't do a whole lot. It's kind of sad, but at least I have got you guys. Do you guys smoke? Everybody smoke? Some people smoke. Nobody smoke. We can talk about smoke too. Nugs. Something. Anyway, to go on a little bit more about the snakes, you know, I was like, gonna just have to step it up, you know, like, and at that point, I didn't have a whole lot of money left, and I was like, damn, if I was gonna spend big money on snakes, I kind of should have probably already done it. But I also kind of realized too, and had heard some things, you know, it's like, well, not every, you know, they're not all going to breed for you every year or the first year, you know, whatever, you know, not necessarily first year, but, you know, the first year you think that they're up to size or anything, you know, they don't always go, and they reabsorb, and they do this, and this happens, and things don't work, and, you know, all kinds of, you know, things that aren't necessarily super common and going to happen, but could. So it's like, well, you know, I could put a whole shitload of money into 2 or 3 really high dollar females, but then, man, what happens if they don't fucking go and doesn't give me nothing or something, you know? And I'm like, well, then I'm stuck with nothing. And so I was kind of the mindset where, like, man, you just need females, you know? Like, you're not going to get eggs without females. And the more females you got, the more chances at eggs you got, you know, and this and that. So that's why I started with cheaper snakes and stuff. And then, like I said, I realized I wanted to make nicer stuff and fancier stuff without having to wait so many years. And that's when I talked to Anthony Zavala from Granddaddy Herps. You guys should know about him, hopefully. If not, go look him up. Yeah, and he took the time to talk to me, actually. Like, I ended up in one of his live premieres or something for one of his videos, and made a couple of comments and stuff, and I made a comment asking a question that he probably could have just answered right then, but he was just kind of like, hey, get you know, hit me up on Instagram after the show. You know, so I waited till after it was over with or whatever, and I hit him up, and man, he talked with me for probably the better part of an hour, just bounced back and forth. And I was trying to tell, you know, I was talking to him. I was like, man, this male popped up, and I've been raising these 3 piebald girls, but I've only had them for a few months. You know, I keep hearing that you should wait until they're, you know, such and such age, or, you know, wait a whole year, wait until they're, you know, about 1,000 grams, this and that, you know. Anyhow, you guys have all heard it, I'm sure, and know, and maybe well know it. I don't know. But anyhow, so I was like, okay, this is what I'm hearing and learning and soaking up, and I'm hearing it so many places that it's obviously pretty good information, at least, you know. So I was like, okay, well, damn, man, this male popped up, and I think that's kind of what I would try, you know, like to try to work in, but it's too early. And then I looked it up though, and it was like, holy shit, there's only ever been like 4 or 5 of these males ever been offered on Morph Market, at least. And that was there's not been very many, and there's only like maybe 1 or 2 per year that pop up. And the price was still about the same as it was like back in 2019, which I noticed had to have been somewhat of like a low spot or something as far as price wise. Like I said, I wasn't in the game back then. I didn't know anything about it. I wasn't looking, so I didn't know. But I've noticed the prices were a good bit lower back then than they are now, or were even than last year, and now they're even higher than they were last year. So it's not the gospel or anything, but I kind of sometimes look at it when I'm buying a snake, and it's like, okay, what am I paying for it, and then what did that same morph combo cost 2 years ago, 3 years ago? If it's something that's not that shouldn't have dropped a lot in value, and I can still get it for the same price now as someone was buying them for in like 2018 or 2019, and it's something I want, then I assume it's probably a pretty good deal. It's not always, like I say, you have to figure everything out, but after all the many hours that I've spent on Morph Market, kind of tends to lead that. At least you're not getting you're probably not going to tune back in, get back on Morph Market next week and then find the exact same thing that you just bought for fucking 30% less than you paid, and which, even when that happens, I don't get upset. It is what it is. I don't care what I paid for something. Once I got it and paid for it, it's home in the rack or whatever, and if I see something, the next day, fucking 20% cheaper, I don't even get it mad, It's whatever, it is what it is. I got something nice or whatever, and now it's only gonna potentially just sit there and make me money, so it doesn't matter. A little tiny bit of lost money or whatever, essentially, or perceived lost profits or something, is quickly gonna go away over the years of breeding them and shit and making money. So that's when I talked to Anthony. He talked me into buying the snake that I wouldn't have bought because I thought it was too soon. I was like, I kind of want this snake, or I knew that's kind of what I wanted to get, but I was like, I don't know if I'll have this kind of money in another 8 months or a year anyway. And it's one of those things that there was, like I said, there's only been like a half dozen available ever on Morph Market. So it's not like something that I can expect to be available when I'm ready to buy it or have the money, 6 or 8 or 10 months or whatever it is down the road. So I talked to him, and I was just like, man, don't know if I should buy it. Everything I keep seeing and shit tells me I should wait. I said, but then I'm starting to see some of these videos where people are like, oh, better make sure you got backup males, or, hey, look, I had this male that I really wanted to go with this female for a project, and they're just like, they're not compatible. They don't get along. I put them together and they're not hooking up, or just, there's lots of just random reasons or whatever, that they're not going to jive and reproduce together. And one of them also being that, my male wasn't quite big enough, or, he was only big enough to pair up a few times and get 2 or 3 locks out of. And I'm thinking, well, I want to pair him up to at least 3 or 4 females. Should I maybe make sure I buy one a little bit younger, and, so that when the time comes, he's older. And he kind of told me, yeah, not 100%, but that, he's like, man, I bought one last year, spent a whole shitload of money on a male. He was like, and was kind of betting on him to do great things for me. And then he was like, and then he was just not mature enough when the time came. So I just had to wait a whole nother year, and he's got thousands of dollars tied up in this snake that, he kind of was expecting to breed and then didn't. So he was like, had that snake been, 4 or 5 months older, it probably would have gone for him, and done it. So, he was like, don't be scared in that aspect if that's the case, because I was like, is the main penalty, and the biggest part of it is like you have to feed that snake for an extra year, because I see that too. It's like, oh, well, don't buy him now because, you'll be able to get him cheaper next year and you're going to have to feed him that whole year. But I'm like, man, I breed my own rodents, so that's not a big deal. And he was like, well, that makes a big part of it, so if that's not going to be an issue of you feeding him, then I see no reason not to pick up that male right now. If that's what you want, that's what you're going to need. You got the money now, may not have the money later. That snake may not be available later. He was like, just get him now, and you'll know that he should be, plenty mature when the time comes and can breed several females. So I bought him. So I spent $1,000 fucking dollars. It was huge money to me. Spent $1,000 on a Orange Dream Yellow Belly double het clown pied, a possible Enchi from the Snake Keeper. So I bought that to go to my 3 regular single gene visual pied females, thinking that I'll make, Orange Dream and maybe Orange Dream Yellow Belly pieds, 50% het clown. I've got 3 females, hopefully amongst those I'll get enough that, they'll prove out. Enough of them will get both clown and pied, and I'll be able to make clown pieds. And it didn't take long before I was like, man, sure would be nice if I had maybe more genes, or maybe a visual clown female or 2 to put him to, and then that way I'd could hopefully have some visual clowns 50% het pied, visual pieds 50% het clown, and kind of hopefully increase my odds of hitting the double. And if not, at the very least, I know everything's going to be 100% double het at that point. So then that's when the spending got even worse, trying to buy combo clown females without pastel. Like there's plenty of them out there, and not all of them are outrageous, but finding visual clown combos without pastel gets a bit difficult. There's not tons of them out there, and they start escalating in price real quick. But yeah, because I look at enough, and even though they look really amazing, especially as babies, I just kind of didn't want the pastel in my clown stuff. So I avoided the pastel, kind of like I avoided the spider, just because, not that there's anything wrong with it. I didn't want it in my stuff for right now. Can always put it in later, but I didn't necessarily want it in my foundational stuff where it could possibly just be popping up here and there and all through everything. And, I don't mind having Orange Dream in every fucking thing. So if that runs Orange Dream, Super Orange Dream popping up here and there, cool. I don't mind that a bit. But yeah, so then I bought Orange Dream Clown, 66% pos het, Orange Ghost female. That was another big purchase. To cost me a lot. I bought that one, and then I bought Banana Clown female, and I bought Orange Dream Enchi Clown female, and I bought all 3 of those snakes in the same week. That was that was a new experience. Even after, like I said, like going from 0 snakes to 11 snakes over the course of like a few days, and even getting 8 snakes in one shipment from Garrick DeMeyer, all in that same first week or something. It was still, and spending all that money, it was still way different and shit than dropping the money on 3 clown combo females all in the same week. in which I couldn't afford to pay them all. It wasn't like I was just like, oh, here you go, here you go, here you go. You know, who else wants some? You got some snakes? You know, no, it wasn't quite like that. But I had kind of put the feelers out to all three. And it took all three of them, like varying but extended amounts of time to respond. And as they did, and I talked to them and stuff, I couldn't help but find a way to work out a deal with each one of them. And I paid for a couple of them, two of them I think in cash, and then the third one I was just like, I just fucking don't have enough money anymore, and I'm sorry, but I really do want that snake, and if you want to work out a payment plan, let's do it. So that's when I made a payment plan, and I bought that the banana clown on payments. It took me a month and a half to get that, but I'm glad I got it. She's sweet. She's pretty cool. She came from Alabama. So who else still here? You guys aren't very talkative in there. Are you just bouncing around? That's cool too. I understand. I was just wondering though, if you guys are sitting here the whole time just listening to me ramble, it seems a little crazy. Or maybe you guys have just let it run for me so I get some watch time or something, and you've already gone to bed. If that's the case, I can kind of probably go ahead and wrap it up soon. It's getting pretty late here, even though I could go probably till the fucking sun comes up. I'm not even tired. Kind of got I don't know, excited about this for some reason, I guess, or something, you know. I was only expecting to go for a few minutes, kind of, but once people showed up, it kind of felt good, and it just kept on rolling. But yeah, it does seem like a bit crazy if I'm just sitting here explaining so many of these breeding projects and everything, if it's to no one at all. If even one person is sitting there listening, you know, I got no problem with keep on, you know, I'll keep going and keep talking or something, but but I could be letting the secrets out for no reason. Well, the number's changing. It looks like somebody else popped in. Go ahead and say hi. Holy shit, you guys are just still here. Awesome. Okay, cool. You just throw me a little, you know, message every now and then or something, at least. Let me know. That's cool, Ryan. Go ahead and lay down, man. I appreciate you coming in and hanging out for so long when you didn't have to. But yeah, if you guys just want to keep on going or whatever, man, I'll keep it going and just keep bullshitting. Damn. I got to work on not fucking sitting on the table, I guess. I've been doing it all night. He said go get some rest. All right, man. Like I said, dude, I mean, it's all good. If y'all want to go ahead and go, you know, don't let me keep you for no reason. I was just saying I got nothing else to do, and I'm wide awake right now, so. I'm just gonna have to go look for something else to do for another couple hours probably before I get tired enough to pass out. But yeah, and I mean, like I say, if you want to go, just holler, say something, dip out, whatever. I'll trying to still I need to figure a couple of things out. That's what I would. That's what I planned on doing 2 hours ago. But I was worried if I started clicking on things, I'd screw shit up. But yeah, let's see. Oh, what was that? Webcam stream. Oh, okay. I just found out who's in there. Is that her? Damn, it's that easy just to do. Drop the link. Shit, I should have done that hours ago. That was simple. Right. Let's see. Who's here? Anybody here? I see 1, 2. Y'all new? Just come in. There's the link if y'all want to go ahead and join. I'll try to figure this out. Let's see.